Tonight on Coyote News, find out how a popular app is affecting students at USD and why universities are taking it seriously. Plus, find out what students think about this social media trend. I'm Brent Seehofer.
And I'm Kathleen Suri. Many students don't know what's in the basement of the Lee Medical School building. Learn about a $750,000 investment on the lower level that's preparing healthcare students for a real hospital experience.
Plus, the women's golf team won their first tournament title since 2005. We'll be talking to the freshman golfer who won the tournament and 5 USD athletes who were honored for their success. But first, the headlines with Delaney Schenk.
Multiple shootings broke out at the Canadian Parliament this morning, leaving at least 2 people dead. A Canadian soldier was killed while guarding the National War Memorial in one shooting, while the other shooting happened inside the Parliament building. At least 1 suspect is dead, and police have no one else in custody. 3 Denver teenagers were caught skipping school to fly to Syria to join ISIS. The girls had taken their passports and $2,000 in cash and were on their way to Germany. The families reported the girls as runaways and notified the FBI, who put a hold on their passports. They were sent back to the U.S. after arriving at the Frankfurt airport. After being questioned by the FBI, they were released but not charged with anything. And those are your headlines.
Thanks, Delaney. Do you ever feel glued to your phone or just social media in general? On this week's Yote Report, Nicole Griffith finds out how one trending form of social media can have negative effects on students.
Everywhere I look, somebody is on their phone, refreshing Twitter, Facebook, and all the countless available apps. Now an app known as Yik Yak has service that allows people to post anonymously and their content is not monitored. These posts range from class complaints, Greek house trash talking, individual callouts, and a colorful use of language. The controversial app has also made national headlines on College Media Matters and Total Sorority Move, but this is not necessarily a good thing.
There's a lot of great psychological theory that says that when you don't have to put your name on something, you're not held accountable for it. So there's a lot of really terrible things that are being posted about people on there.
Yik Yak posts are limited to a mile radius, and sophomore Diego Marquez was made fun of after he emceed royalty reveal.
Honestly, I'm not upset that much anymore, so I don't care. I just wanted to let people know that it's not okay. When you're degrading people, it's hurting their feelings, and it's making them feel less than they are.
Marquez was criticized on the app because of his accent, but Yik Yak isn't just about making fun of others. The app can be useful for finding out about campus activities. However, think before you post. If you wouldn't want someone to say it about you, it's probably best not to post it. For the Yote Report, I'm Nicole Griffith.
Although posts to Yik Yak are anonymous, universities are taking the app seriously. Last week, a student from Drake University was arrested for a threat he posted to the app. Des Moines police charged 18-year-old Michael Crisp with harassment for posting a controversial comment on Yik Yak. Crisp posted that he had access to top-tier guns and that Columbine will look like child's play. The posts were deleted from the app shortly after being posted, but Yik Yak administration helped police identify Crisp through his IP address. Crisp admitted to the threats. Coming up later in the newscast, hear what students think about Yik Yak.
October is Domestic Violence Month, and some students at USD are speaking out about the issue. Coyote News' Megan Card is live in the muck with Emily Grody to talk about what her association is doing to make students more aware about domestic and sexual violence at the university. Megan?
Thanks, Brent. The Association for the Advancement of Women's Rights Group has only been on campus for a year, but already its newest president has big plans for this semester. Thanks for joining me today, Emily. Can you tell me about what your organization has done to talk about the Domestic Violence Awareness Month?
Yes. Last week on Thursday and Friday, we actually had a tabling event for the No More campaign, which is a campaign designed to raise awareness about the issues of domestic violence and sexual assault, and in raising that awareness has hopes to eradicate those issues.
I know your organization has also been working with breast cancer awareness as well. Are there any activities that students should know about?
Yes, next Wednesday at 6 p.m. here in the Muck Pit, we're going to have a speaker night where we're bringing in a representative from American Cancer Society in Sioux Falls to talk about the Road to Recovery program, and also a teacher here on campus talking about her own journey with breast cancer.
I know your group's been pretty vocal about how USD has dealt with sexual assaults in the past. What do you think the campus needs to do to prevent sexual violence?
I think the university needs to be very proactive in the administration process of letting students know about the sexual cases that happen on campus, and also taking further steps to prevent those actions and to basically put the safety of its students at the forefront.
Thank you. That was Emily Grody, president of the Association for the Advancement of Women's Rights Group, which meets each Friday evening at 5 p.m. in the Muck. Live from the Muck, I'm Megan Card.
Thanks, Megan. Coming up after the break, learn how students in the School of Health Sciences are practicing real-life situations with human-like mannequins, and find out what the issues the District 17 candidates discussed at Monday's debate. Stay with us.
There for you. Coyote News, Wednesday, live at 5.
When most people think of basements, they may picture a dark storage space or a game room. But what about a 1,700 square foot training facility that prepares healthcare students for the real world? I had the chance to visit the new simulation center in the basement of the Lee Medical School building.
This space used to be a storage facility, but after a $750,000 investment that premiered in August, students in the School of Health Sciences now get the chance to simulate a real hospital experience.
These mannequins are called human patient simulators, and they're technologically designed to give off human-like body functions.
These functions are managed from a control room where faculty and technicians can alter the mannequin's temperature, blood pressure, and even their voice. This simulates a specific scenario for an individual patient, just like a real hospital.
The students can actually measure blood pressures, count heart rates, count breathing rates, take temperatures. They can listen to lung sounds, the breathing sounds that a patient makes, and we can change heart rhythms and do vocal sounds.
13 cameras and 9 microphones are positioned throughout the center, and each session is recorded. Following the simulations, students enter a debriefing room where faculty explain what they did right, what they didn't, and how they can improve.
This is a time where we can make so many mistakes and we're not hurting anyone, and the professors we go over the simulation, over the video, and we have that chance to re-look at it and ask the questions to a professor and clarify things. Okay, would we have done that first or not? And so it makes us so we feel more comfortable in the real world.
While some simulation sessions take less than half an hour, some can last all day. Stoley says the center is used about 50% of the time, but the goal is to have it used 80%.
In nearly 2 weeks, students will be able to make their voices heard. The midterm election is on November 4th. However, students can still technically vote now. If you live outside South Dakota or aren't registered to vote in the immediate area, you can vote using an absentee ballot. Simply visit your state Secretary of State website and download the absentee registration form. Each state has a different application deadline. You'll then receive a ballot to mail back. Students who are registered in the Vermilion area can vote in person on November 4th at the Armory. If you aren't sure where you're supposed to vote, check your state's website for a polling map station. On Monday, students had the chance to listen to a District 17 candidates in a campus debate. The one-hour debate was held at Al Newharth Media Center conference room. All candidates were invited, but Representative Ray Ring, Marion Sorlian, Michelle Maloney, and Art Rush were the only candidates available. Questions were solicited by the Cross Media Council and the live audience. Some of the issues discussed were economic development, the Good Samaritan Bill, and the tuition freeze. To watch the full debate and hear what the candidates had to say about the issues, visit the Coyote News channel on YouTube.
On this week's blog, Abby Pierce talks about how easy it is to get addicted to Netflix.
Addiction is defined as a state of being enslaved to a habit or practice or something that is psychologically or physically habit-forming, to such an extent that its cessation causes severe trauma. I don't know about you all, but I think I'm addicted to Netflix. It all started with Gossip Girl my freshman year, and then progressed to One Tree Hill, Vampire Diaries, Orange is the New Black, and now I'm on to the 9 seasons of Grey's Anatomy. When I start a new TV series on Netflix, I become obsessed with it and spend almost all of my spare time watching it. I maybe wouldn't go as far to say that not watching it causes trauma, but I definitely am a little enslaved. According to Netflix, more than 2 billion movies and shows are streamed to over 50 million members every month. That's insane. Thinking about the amount that I watch and how much others watch, it made me question the effects of binge watching. I did a little bit of checking up, and apparently binging on TV shows makes us value the content less than if we were to watch 1 episode per week. When we finish seasons and there's no more for us to watch, we feel sad and go through withdrawals. Netflix knows we can't just resist 1 more episode, so it has them play automatically unless you stop it. Come on, Netflix, have a little faith in my self-control. So with all of that being said, here's a warning to any non-Netflix addicts out there. Don't start watching it unless you have some free time on your hands. It's highly addictive. For Coyote Blog, I'm Abby Pierce.
Thanks, Abby. Coming up after the break, learn about a book that's drawing attention to both South Dakota and the university. Plus, hundreds of prospective students are visiting campus during the fall season. Stay with us.
Students can get so busy during the school year studying for their classes that they may not have time to read a book for fun. As Coyote News' Jenny Zeller found out, there's a nonfiction book that's raising attention in South Dakota and at USD.
You don't have to be a book lover to love this book. Written by the Dean of the Arts and Sciences, Matt Moen, this book will make you laugh from the beginning to the end.
Dumb Bunnies and Expecting Cats is a true story written many years ago, but sat in a dust drawer for about 15 years.
And I pulled it out and lightly touched it up and gave it to my daughter on her 14th birthday because it's a book she didn't know existed and it's a slice of my life before she was born.
Moen wasn't expecting this book to draw a lot of attention.
The biggest surprise was actually at the South Dakota Festival of Books, where you just do a session and you hope some people will show up, and I thought maybe, 15 or 20 people would show up, and I had probably 50 to 70.
This creative nonfiction book isn't exactly like the 6 academic books Moen has already written.
And then this book is very much a crossover. It's a very different sort of a book. I hope people enjoy it. It's intended to be an amusing, humorous, somewhat tender story.
Moen says his favorite part is towards the end.
I attempt to break up a cat fight in a snowy backyard at my home in Bangor, Maine, and start heading down the deck with a full cup of coffee in the wintertime, and you can imagine that that didn't turn out exactly well.
Dumb Bunnies and Expecting Cats can be found throughout the Vermilion community. For Coyote News, I'm Jenny Zeller.
USD's Mortarboard Honor Society is being nationally recognized for maintaining outstanding national standards and deadlines. The Mortarboard National College Senior Honor Society recognized 67 chapters with the Silver Torch Award. The club is a national honor society recognizing college seniors for achievement in scholarship, leadership, and service.
It's already past midterms here at USD, and the changing fall season has brought some color to campus. Dean of Enrollment Mark Petty says fall is also a popular time to tour the university, and over 150 students are signed up to attend the next fall open house. Students who attend tours will be guided around campus to learn about USD's majors and programs. Petty says that attending a fall open house on campus is a great way for students and their parents to explore USD. Petty says you can expect to see over 250 guests on campus during the next fall open house event on Saturday, November 8th.
This weekend, Climb USD hosted a competition at the Wellness Center. Coyote News' Bailey Millen was there to see what 2 new twists the club added to the climb.
Climb Fest 2014 was held Saturday afternoon. The route for the competition was designed in about 10 hours. Close to 40 climbers from USD and surrounding areas competed in the climb, which had its own special features.
With Halloween and the holiday season just around the corner, Climb USD chose to add 2 aspects of both those events into their Climb Fest this year.
Well, we decided to have a costume contest for the competition to make it a little more entertaining. We decided to make it a bit more of a charitable event, so any of the cans of food that was donated will go to the local food pantry.
Sarah Peterson is a first-year graduate student, and she says she enjoys the competitions at USD.
Oh, it's a lot of fun. Get to meet a lot of new people from different schools.
During spring break, Climb USD travels so they can climb for the week. Climbers looking for a more competitive club can try the USD Climb team.
We have a competition season in the spring, and we go to different schools to compete. We compete here, so I just help train our climbers.
Climb USD travels to regional indoor gyms and to multiple outdoor venues such as the Rushmore National Park and the Rocky Mountains. For Coyote News, I'm Bailey Millen.
Coming up next, the women's basketball team is preparing for a repeat of last season's success. But first, here with the USD athletes were honored by the Summit League. Stay tuned.
Not getting your message across clearly? Contact Kyle Creative for all your promotional needs.
Tonight on Coyote Sports, the USD women's golf team won a tournament title for the first time since 2005, and we'll be talking with the meet medalist. I'm Charlie Daldorf.
And I'm Erica Arpan. Learn which 5 USD athletes were honored by the Summit League for their success in their respective sports, and see how the women's basketball team is preparing for a repeat performance of last season. But first, the headlines. Delaney?
The San Francisco Giants beat the Kansas City Royals 7-1 last night to take a 1-0 lead in the World Series. The winner of Game 1 has won 10 of the last 11 World Series. Madison Bumgarner only allowed 1 run on 3 hits and struck out 5 batters. Additionally, some San Francisco radio stations say they won't play the song Royals by Lorde until the World Series is over. The song has been somewhat of a theme song for the Kansas City Royals during the Royals' playoff run. Peyton Manning is now the passing touchdown leader in the NFL. The Broncos quarterback threw for 4 touchdowns in their win over the San Francisco 49ers, totaling 510 career passing touchdowns. Manning passed former leader Brett Favre, who had 508. Serena Williams suffered the worst loss since she was 16 years old. The world-ranked #1 competitor lost 6-0 and 6-2 to Simona Halep. Last year, the match went the opposite way as Williams defeated Halep 6-0 in both sets. Williams describes her play as embarrassing. And those are your headlines.
5 USD athletes were named Summit League Athletes of the Week for their excellence in their respective sports this week. Senior volleyball player Riley Haug was honored for the 3rd time this season after recording 15 digs against Iowa State and 16 more against SCSU last week. Haug is currently leading the league with an average of 4.56 digs per set.
Sophomores Sam Schutt and diver Grayson Herding were recognized for the 2nd straight week after their performances. Schutt records her 3rd career swimmer of the week honor after winning 3 events in their duel last week. Herding was honored for the 12th time in her career after winning 3 of her 4 dives in the duel.
And juniors Mubarak Musa and Amber Eichhorn were named Summit League Men's and Women's Cross Country Athletes of the Week. Musa finished third at the Bradley Classic to lead the 15th ranked men to a 6th place finish. Eichhorn finished second at the Classic and led the 8th ranked women to a 2nd place finish out of 30 teams. The women placed ahead out of 4 other ranked teams, while the men placed higher than three ranked teams. The Summit League has recognized 12 different athletes 19 different times this fall for their success at USD.
For the first time since 2005, the USD women's golf team has won a tournament team title. Freshman Abby Dufresne shot a 7 over par to take medalist honors, and Brenna Lervick placed 5th at the Creighton Classic. USD ended with a 4-stroke win over Creighton, and now Coyote News' Jackie Hendry is live in the muck with Dufresne. Jackie?
Thanks, Charlie. Abby Dufresne and the rest of the women's golf team have sure finished their fall season off strong. Thanks for joining us today, Abby.
Thank you.
So, because this is the first title win for your team in almost 9 years, tell us a little bit what was going through your mind during the match?
I'd say the whole entire time during the match, we all knew we could have a chance of winning, which made everybody's ambition just to play so much better. And knowing after that first round that I was just second off, like 2 strokes off the lead, it made me just strive to do even so much better. And even though I had a really bad first 9 on that second day, my coach came up to me and told me, it's Abby's world, and not let anybody else worry about that except yourself. Know that you are just as good a player as all of these girls, and that's how I looked at it, and I ended up shooting even par that last 9 and ended up winning the tournament by 2. And having my team with me and having us win as a team together was so huge to end our fall season.
Because this is just your first year of college athletics, what's the transition been like for you from high school to college golf?
I would say high school to college golf is a little bit more different, but I'm still happy that I actually was able to make D1 coming from a really small town. So it was nice to be able to have that opportunity and whatnot.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
That was Abby Dufresne with the USD women's golf team, which won the Creighton Classic yesterday afternoon. Live in the muck, I'm Jackie Hendry.
Thanks, Jackie. The men's golf team also finished up their fall season with a 12th place finish at the Old Dominion Outer Banks Invitational. They were led by Sam Matthew with a 5th place finish. USD finished 46 strokes behind team champion James Madison. The USD football team fell this past weekend to Missouri State and failed to win their first conference game. The offense started well as the Coyotes took a 3-0 lead on a 47-yard field goal by Miles Bergner. The lead didn't last long as the Bears battled back and won the game 31-12. The Coyotes fall to 2-5 overall. They'll host #1 ranked and 3-time reigning FCS champion North Dakota State on Saturday.
The USD women's basketball team enters this season's ranked #2 in the Summit League preseason poll. Senior Nicole Seekamp has taken the high ranking in stride.
Last year we were picked lower than that, so to get a bigger, the next step up. But I mean, it kind of is good to not be first, I guess, because it puts that pressure on you. And so being second, it kind of gives us a little bit of motivation to try and get to that first spot.
Aiming for that top spot as well. And she says it all starts with practice.
We've been trying to focus on and trying to make it our goal to be one of the hardest working practicing teams in the country. And up to this point, I've been very pleased with our energy and intensity.
After making it to the NCAA tournament last season, the women's team will face tougher competition, including Kansas, Marquette, and Valparaiso. The first game is scheduled against Drake on November 14th.
40 days and 30 classes. It's the Yoga Inspiration Challenge at USD. These classes are put on by the Wellness Center, and they will challenge people to participate in yoga classes for 30 of 40 days. Through yoga, students connect their mind, body, and spirit to be in a healthy state of balance. For each class that students participate in, they'll receive a punch on their card. When it's full, they can enter it into a raffle. Prizes for the winners include a yoga mat, travel spray, and a t-shirt. There will be a new class for students to attend each Sunday. The challenge continues through November 22nd. In this week's sports commentary, Grant Boziacki talks about Peyton Manning, the new record holder for passing touchdowns.
We've seen it a million times, or more specifically, 510 times now. In what looks all too easy, Mr. Peyton Manning in the shotgun, a 3-step drop, hitting his receiver. This time it was Demaryius Thomas on a 10-yard out route for a touchdown. That was 5:09, the record breaker. Oh, where do I start? That picture was actually me right there 15 years ago when I was about a foot tall when Peyton Manning was there in the Pro Bowl throwing passes to Marvin Harrison and Keyshawn Johnson. That was Peyton's first Pro Bowl. He'd go on to make 12 more. And really, Peyton, your fan base has only grown since then. I've always remembered you as the originator of barking out audibles at the line of scrimmage, or as the guy picking apart the league at the age of 38. And, oh yeah, the guy who's maybe choked a few too many times in the playoffs. But it's all right, Peyton. You didn't let a potential career-ending neck injury slow you down. In fact, you only got better. You'll probably play until you're 40 just to make all your records that much harder to catch. On behalf of all NFL fans, I want to say how much of a pleasure it's been getting to watch you take the field every Sunday. For as long as the NFL exists, your face will always be remembered as one of the iconic ones. So, big guy, thank you for your honorable work. You're at 5'10" now. It's anybody's guess what you're going to be at when you're done. For Coyote Sports, I'm Grant Boziacki.
Coming up after the break, find out how students use a wellness center for more than just breaking a sweat. Stay with us.
What made you pair up with the sound to show your school spirit?
Go for the up and under, and that one will fall.
91.1 Coyote Radio.
As we mentioned earlier in the newscast, Yik Yak is a new anonymous social media trend that may have negative effects on students.
On this week's Out and About, we asked students if they use Yik Yak and what they think about it.
I don't think it's a good thing for our campus just because there's a lot of negative things that come from it, especially in the Greek community, and I don't think that we should be talking about each other like that at all.
I have no idea what Yik Yak is.
I think it's a funny app. I like it. I have only liked things on there. I never actually posted on it though.
I read it and I think it's awful.
It's just repetitive like Twitter. It's just an anonymous Twitter. Fade is way better.
I never use Yik Yak, and I honestly think it's a social media thing that was invented for a bunch of cowards that want to talk a bunch of crap.
People can be harsh, and like those comments should not be on there at all.
I don't really like the app Yik Yak. I think it's kind of dumb.
No, I have not. I haven't used it, and I don't like it. I like Twitter better.
I think it can be funny at times, but it can also be really mean, and I don't think you should have to be anonymous to express your feelings.
I would say 90% of stuff on there is super negative.
I have used it, but I think it's kind of stupid and mean.
I don't know, some of them are really funny, but it's honestly just a little petty app.
In the next installment of our weekly What It Means to Be a Coyote series, see how the Wellness Center isn't just a place to break a sweat.
It can be hard to balance classwork with a healthy lifestyle, but USC's Wellness Center gives students a convenient place to fight the freshman 15 and meet new people.
My favorite part about teaching Wellness Center classes is definitely getting to know more students, and especially with the Wellness Center, it's open into the community, so I get to meet a lot of people in the community also.
I love all the special events we put on. I feel that we provide a lot for the students and community, and I just love interacting with people and getting to know why they come here, if it's to lose weight, to gain muscle, to just have some activity with their friends. It's probably my favorite part.
For students at the Wellness Center, being a coyote is simple.
It means we're not coyotes, we're coyotes, and it's a lot of fun here. I love it.
You don't think about it, you just are it.
So be a health-conscious coyote and take advantage of the Wellness Center.
A new edition of the Volant hit newsstands today. Be sure to pick up a copy and read about students who assist with political campaigns, and learn about IT services and the university's increasing bandwidth. That's all for Coyote News. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram.
Have a great night. We'll see you next time.